Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything Live. I'm Trev.
And I'm Jake.
And you're joining us here. It's week 42. Another fantastic week here at the program. Lots of stuff to talk about. For those of you joining us now, we do have a poll going on in the comments. We want to know what you think. There's some big movies coming out here that would fall under our purview. So we're gonna have to get kind of choosy which ones we're actually gonna do a full review of.
Yeah. See, last what did we do last summer? We did
Iron Man 3.
We did Iron Man 3.
And then
we did
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
I know we did Evil Dead. That was a reboot.
Yeah, we did a full. We just skipped right over the Wolverine. Whenever just jumped right over it.
I recommend it if you like Wolverine. It's better than Wolverine Origins. It's the best Wolverine movie you're gonna get out of the two movies, obviously. So, you know,
very good.
Or X-Men. That had some good Wolverine in it.
Right.
But,
yeah, well, I mean, they're all really Wolverine movies if you think about it.
Pretty much.
That'd be a bold step in a new direction for the X-Men films. Although, to be fair, X-Men First Class did, of course, have very little Wolverine content. It was a cameo.
Jake and Trev Review Everything Live. Secrets.
Yeah.
I haven't seen X-Men First Class.
My goodness.
I know. I still have to see it.
I blame myself for giving it such a general poor review right out of the gate.
Yeah. And you described pretty much the whole movie to me.
I described pretty much the whole movie to him and informed him of all the serious gaffes in continuity and how they just plucked characters from wherever in the continuity and just, let's make a movie with it. Sure. But anyway, cast your vote. Tell us what movie you want us to do a review of coming up here in the next couple weeks.
Let's see how it's going.
Wow. So far, I'm a little shocked at these results, and we'll let you know what these results are later.
So keep your
Right.
Everybody keep coming, giving do the votes.
Do the votes. Let's see. As per usual, guys, if you have any questions you want to ask us over the chat, feel free. We'll get to them on the show.
We will. We do not have any questions from Facebook, so tonight it's all about you guys. Mm-hmm. It's your show. It is your show. We'll get through some stuff here. Mm-hmm. Where are we going first?
Let's go with the.
What are we going to talk about first, Trev?
Let's talk about some spoilers. Some spoilers here. Let's see. Benedict Cumberbatch. Mm-hmm. Jake's favorite.
I'm a Cumberbitch.
It's true. Jake, this is going to upset you then, perhaps a little, but probably not. Benedict Cumberbatch has thoroughly bowed out of having a role in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. He's quoted saying, "I would have liked a part in J.J. Abrams' new Star Wars, but it won't happen, sadly."
Why not?
I mean...
He could be the son of Moff Tarkin.
Oh, dude, he'd be a great son of Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
Like a new Imperial officer who's seriously giving the rebels trouble. That'd be amazing.
Grand Moff Cumberbatch.
But no, he's out. And he's also out of appearing in Doctor Who in an expanded version of this quote. He's never going to play the Doctor and has nothing to do with the Who universe.
That's inventive. I'm not I like Doctor Who. I'm not super into it, but Who-niverse.
The Who-niverse. That's right. He's not going to be in either one.
It just makes me think of the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I think it's kind of going back to sure. I think it kind of goes with the you don't want to get typecast. You don't want to be in all these kind of niche-y BBC programs. So I would.
You don't want to be the poster boy for England.
Apparently, well, maybe you don't. I don't know. In other news,
I mean, he's already Sherlock.
Well, I'm not saying I want him to be Doctor Who, okay?
Right. I mean, yeah, it would be cool if he was on there, but it's like...
Sure.
Everybody's been I've been on Doctor Who.
Really?
No.
Oh. That would have been a good episode.
Not that you know of. Wink!
He's lots of makeup. In other news, Blade Runner 2, still moving forward. An ill-advised sequel. This is already, with the Jake and Trev warning, this is not a movie that needed to move. it's not a movie that needed a sequel by any stretch of the imagination. And what's kind of interesting, though, is that Harrison Ford is fully on board. He says, I'm quite curious and excited about seeing a new script for Blade Runner, if in fact the opportunity would exist to do another. If it's a good script, I would be very anxious to work with Ridley Scott again. He's a very talented and passionate filmmaker, and I think it would be very interesting to revisit the character.
Also adding, I think it's a nuclear idea.
Oh, yeah.
Or nuclear.
Yeah, you can't, he doesn't know. Here's the thing, guys. Harrison Ford's kind of coming back to some old territory in droves here.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
I just had a oh my god, why aren't we doing this on the show?
Okay, so as you guys know, he was in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which was a serious disappointment to a lot of fans, myself included. Didn't feel like kind of a new fitting don't do that.
We're doing it.
Okay. Jake's looking up a trailer that we're going to apparently watch here. And it's going to be interesting. But no, Harrison Ford did an okay job in the new Indiana Jones movie, but it kind of traded the adventure pulp series sort of feel for like a sci-fi 1950s feel, which I just don't think was consistent with the Indiana Jones like story and character.
Yeah, I mean it's from pulp, but from a different kind of pulp,
right? And then now he's already kind of been cast as himself as Han Solo in the new Star Wars movie, and that's going to be maybe okay. I don't want to be too condemning on that, Jake.
What are we? I'm sorry.
Jake's not really listening.
What are we condemning him for?
Oh my goodness! Never mind.
Just tell me.
Your Facebooking is not a thing on the show, Jake. I'm throwing Jake under the bus.
I am doing this so that we get more viewers on the live show.
Well, that's real kind of you. And so now he's interested in coming back for Blade Runner, and if you guys have some thoughts on what would you be interested in a Blade Runner 2, what would that be like? Throw your comments in the comments. We'll bring it up. We'll discuss your points. As for me, it's a story that you didn't actually want to have the ending. They wanted you want to have a story like that with a kind of an open ending and leave it to your imagination what happens next.
Well,
anywhere from here, you're going to have to definitively say what happened to Deckard and Rachel at the end of Blade Runner.
Here's the thing: Blade Runner is not about Deckard. It's not about the replicants. It's not about any of that. It's about what is humanity. It's a inward looking movie. We're talking about what makes a person a person. Is it memories or emotions? If you can do that with robots, then aren't they human? That was the whole point. It really had very little to do with the actual Blade running.
Right.
So the story itself was more of a jumping off point for these sci-fi ideas. That's what real sci-fi is about. It's about asking the hard questions about life on Earth, life in space, humanity. We don't really change when we get more technology. It doesn't advance us, or we don't advance technology. Technology advances us, like that kind of shit. It's a lot of questions. So. The whole tracking down the replicants and killing them, it didn't really matter. I mean, they were going to die anyways.
Right.
And the reason they were going after their creators because they wanted to know, why did you create me? That's the same thing that people do in life. Why am I here? What is my purpose? That kind of shit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, absolutely. They were created beyond robots into humanity, and making a sequel where it's like, oh, look at all the CG where they're jumping from space cars and turning around and that's not the fucking point. So they said everything that they could in the first one.
Right. So and some ambiguity is really necessary, and you're going to totally lose that if you're trying to sequelize this in any serious way.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, but it's really not surprising though with the slew of other sequels and so forth that that they're working on.
Oh God, we got some for you tonight, folks. All right, real quick, Hans Zimmer coming back for composing some music on Batman vs. Superman. Say what you want, and we will, obviously, about Man of Steel. Excellent fucking soundtrack. Real good. Real, like, uplifting stuff, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Hans Zimmer is, you know, guys, I think we've talked about this on the show multiple times. Just as a refresher, you do not realize, unless you've actually stopped to think about it, how much of an impact the sound and the soundtrack, more specifically, has on your viewing experience of any given movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Hans Zimmer is one of the modern masters. You could say he's the new John Williams. I don't think that would be a totally unfair comparison.
Yeah, I'd say that. John Williams is... Wait, did John Williams...
John Williams is still active.
Oh, okay.
Did
he die?
No.
Let's play Jake and Trev Review Everything Live's favorite game. Did he die?
No.
Didn't he die?
The answer is no, he didn't.
No, he's not dead.
But yeah, so Hans Zimmer's back for the next DC movie.
We'll have some really good musical stabs.
If nothing else.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to bring up, we were watching, and we don't have to talk about it just yet, but we were watching the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I feel like there was a moment, like they were trying to draw attention to something, like, oh, pay attention to this, and then there was like that dramatic stab, like, brum, brum, like, brum, 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 but, you know, like more subtle than that. And you hear that all the time. Really, honestly, here's your homework for Jake and Trev Review Everything Live.
Jake and Trev homework.
Jake and Trev homework. Next time you watch, like, a TV show or a movie or something, when they introduce, like, a MacGuffin or a plot element or, you know, like, a twist, like a character shows up and it's like, oh, we, you know, thought he was a good guy or dead or whatever, you know, like, seriously, like, listen to the musical stabs, because music directs you a lot more than you think.
Absolutely.
So that's your homework. Next time you watch something, really listen to the music. It'll tell you exactly what's going on. You could even, like, turn the video off and just listen to the music, and you can tell what's going on. So...
from the comments, Mr. and Mrs. Matt and Jessica Nash tuned in, joining us here this week. Welcome. Hopefully Matt Nash will provide us with another breathtaking experience on the Twitch stream here on Comrades obligatory game stream.
Yeah, let me grab the link for that.
Why don't you get that link, son?
I'm gonna get that link.
Get that link.
Getting that link.
We're gonna put it in the chat. Beer pong reviews, how classic, says Todd Jake Silvis. Yeah, me and Jake on the pre-show. For those of you watching on the recorded version, Jake and I were talking about doing a team up with Black Shirt Beer Reviews to do a drunk cast.
Yeah, a lot of internet reviewers have like one or two episodes where they're just completely smashed, and it shows you kind of like a step too far. Like, right. The normal. I mean, we can sit here and talk for like an hour. But can we sit here and talk for an hour drunk? You know? Like,
can they do it? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we might do that with, like, a game. Like I suggested, I had a really, like, what? But it would be really sweet if we got Rhinus on. He brought a bunch of beers, we reviewed them, and then we also played a video game. Just throw it all against the wall.
Absolutely. Also, Todd Jake Silvis writes, I got a PS4 that includes the game Knack. In my opinion, blah. Yeah,
that's what I hear.
You're in the trap, sir. They got you in the trap. They got you. They convinced you.
Wait, hold on. They got you in the trap.
No. Why are you dubstepping right now?
Well, that's trap music because it's different tempos. Like you can't, you know.
What?
I think that's what trap. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that trap music is like it's a style of EDM or electronic dance music. It's not techno.
Electronic dance. A memo to a new segment I just came up with right now.
Segue.
That, you know, everybody else does, but that's fine because Jake and I know how to take advantage of somebody else's good idea. An open letter, or a memo, if you will.
This is directly from John Green.
Well, also I know that like Jimmy Fallon. On the Tonight Show also does like sorry letters or
he does thank you
letters, sure.
Thank you notes. That's what it's called.
But a memo if you will, to people who do EDM music, to EDM music. You're behaving an awful lot like metal right now, and I find that terribly unattractive. Stop trying to compartmentalize everything and allow yourself to be accessible to the average user. Thank you very much. Hugs and kisses, Trevor Peterson.
Yeah. I would put my name on that.
Jake Silvas also.
No hugs
you also
and kisses,
give no hugs and kisses? No X's and O's? Alright. But yeah, no, as we were saying, you fell into the trap, sir. You tried to get on board that new generation of games and gaming before there were any games.
And the worst thing, and here's the thing, this is my dad that got a PS4, and my dad really, got me, my grandparents and my dad got me into, gaming and got me, through gaming and stuff. Actually, my first PS1 my dad got me for my birthday some years ago, but, when the PS2 came out, it had backwards compatibility. And you didn't have to worry, I have all these games from the last system, and then, if I get a PS2, then I'm going to have to get PS2 games, but those are also expensive still, and I'm already dropping, I think, what was it, $400?
Something like that.
On the PS2, so, I'm only going to have a couple games, and that's going to get old after a while. Backwards compatibility, I don't understand. I feel like that's the best transition, but they want all of the money. I mean, what they do have is that, and I feel like this is more than in last generations, they have games that are for both systems. So there's all the big ones, like Titanfall was supposed to be a big get for Xbox One.
But then it was also on Xbox 360.
It's also on the 360. Or Watch Dogs is one that I'm looking forward to this year. It was supposed to be out months ago, but I would rather it come out and be good and not have to be patched a million times than for it to launch on day one and be a steamy pile of shit. So
right, here's the thing: I don't have a bunch of extra space all over the place, guys, where I can have 3 or 4 different consoles hooked into my TV.
Thanks to my roommate, he has a really nice setup next to his TV, and I will probably have to get a shelf when he moves out. But I have all 12 of my consoles sitting out in a nice row.
That's real nice for you, Jake.
I don't have them all hooked up. Fuck that.
Okay.
Those cords would come to life at night and strangle me in my sleep.
What's happening tonight? But here's the thing: there was such a big focus from Xbox in particular, but also PlayStation 4, to try to make their consoles the center of your home media experience.
We have
get your TV, get your gaming, get your fucking internet stuff,
your music,
your music and news, and they're just trying to make it a hub for everything.
No.
So if it's a hub for everything, why doesn't it play your old generation of games? That's the thing. If they want to put it all in one box for me, and that's exactly what they want to do, why are they forcing me to have 2 boxes if I want to play their old games? It just doesn't make sense. It's a short-sighted policy, and, they would think about how much bragging rights Xbox would have right now if they were surprise, all your Xbox 360 games will play on this, backwards compatibility, 1 box, bitches.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with the 360. I know that with the 360, the PS3. The PS3 had a hardware problem. The way that it read discs, because it had a Blu-ray player in it, I think just the way that it was set up, you couldn't easily, at least when it launched, play PS2 games. I know unpatched, you can play PS1 games on the PS3, and you can actually download a patch, although I think they fucking charge you for it to play PS2 games on the PS3. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's originally it was a really cool function on the PS2, but at this point with the technology, it's kind of a given. It's kind of like having trigger buttons on your controller.
Yeah, it's a given thing.
It's like having an ergonomic controller. If the PS4 came out and there was a square controller, everybody'd be pissed off. This hurts. I can't do this for very long.
Ow, my hands.
Ow, sharp corners. It's dumb. And the only reason is money. What they want to do is they want you to buy the new, if you have the new system, they want you to buy the new games exclusively. If you just shelled out a bunch of money, they want more of your money. They want more and more money from you. With the streaming or the online services, PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, they want you to have to go back. Even the Nintendo, the Wii U has or the Wii and the Wii U have Virtual Console, and you have to go back and buy your old games on that too. So they want to double dip. It's like, oh, this game that we put out 20 years ago, that'll be $10, please. And it's like, well, if you had a backwards compatibility thing, I could just play it, and it would be $0 because I already fucking bought it.
Can I pitch something crazy?
All right, elevator pitch.
This is crazy. Okay, so what you do is you offer this some of your old games on an online service like Xbox Arcade or PS4 Network, and what you do is you have a section where you can enter the serial number from your old game disc, and then once you enter that serial number, if you have that and you have one that works and hasn't already been registered, you can then get that and download that game for free and play it on your console, and that way if you've already bought this game and you own this game, you can play it on the new console, or if you don't, you can get it for a much cheaper entry-level fee.
No. I just want all the money. I'm sorry, your elevator pitch failed.
Well, you can't.
You weren't talking about all the money. You were talking about the needs of the consumer. The needs and wants of the consumer. Really? You're trying to sell me on what people want from the thing that I'm selling them?
Well, I mean, some of the money you'll get some. Of the money.
I don't want some of the money. I want all of the money. Start talking all the money.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
You don't.
You got nothing. I want everything.
And that's why you work in the mailroom. is how that goes.
Oh, it's true though that it's getting worse and worse. But let's segue over to something less depressing than expensive ass video games.
Then everything is awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So okay, we have a string of news. Let's do a lightning round for this.
This is gonna be sort of a lightning round.
Again, this is gonna be your guy. Wait, what episode is it? 42?
42.
The answer to life, the universe, and everything.
This is the
episode 42.
This is the magic episode.
Oh, don't forget to bring your towel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget your towel. So we're gonna do a lightning round, where we talk about sequels, prequels, and reboots.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
David Fincher officially passes on Sony's new Steve Jobs biopic.
Because he already did The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna rewrite Pirates of Silicon Valley?
And
how often can you make technology dark and gritty?
How many Steve Jobs biopics do we need?
Right.
Really?
Well, to be honest, I saw half of Kutcher's Ashton Kutcher. Half of Ashton Kutcher's movie. It was kind of butts.
What?
Yeah, it was extra butts. I don't understand. When you do a biopic, you have to decide whether your person that you're doing it about is a good guy or a bad guy or somewhere in between. But they have to have some sort of motivation or something. Obviously, in Steve Jobs' case, it's about Apple. Mm-hmm. And he, and obviously it's not a spoiler or anything, but he started at Apple and he worked with a bunch of people. Not even Bill Gates. They didn't even have a Bill Gates in it. That's what I liked about Pirates of Silicon Valley. They painted it in a very easy way. You had Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs against Bill Gates. And Bill Gates was the evil guy. He got drunk and drove around a bulldozer and he was a dick. Was it Anthony Michael? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a sweet movie, but in this one it's he's a dick, but he's a good guy, but he's a dick, and then it's the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. It's where were you? Then they skip over large swaths of history where it's this is the most interesting stuff.
No,
forget it. It doesn't fit with the narrative, and it's you don't have narrative.
And that's the other thing. You have these companies, these film companies, they need to put a narrative on it. So, for example...
You have to. I'll give them that.
I mean, but... I don't know. I just feel there was just... Everyone was... The body was barely cold.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how it happens today, man. Movies are getting released to DVD and Blu-ray way quicker than they used to be.
And as soon as someone dies... right now, guys, somebody is already pitching a Mickey Rooney biopic movie.
Yeah.
Right now. This very second. Mm-hmm. Or it's already happened, and now they're onto the shrimp and cocaine and hookers. That's my imagination.
That's actually all. If you can imagine all those things, all three things amalgamated, that's what they're going after.
Shrimp, cocaine, hookers.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's scary.
It is. That's frightening.
Don't let your kids grow up in Hollywood. Or grow up to be in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next thing.
Next thing, Guardians of the Galaxy will be featuring a motion capture Thanos, and director James Gunn says the film connects to Avengers 3.
So here's my question. I don't think I've ever seen that as like a buzzword or a headline.
Mm-hmm.
Motion capture Thanos? Why are they not using CGI anymore? Like, obviously that means CGI. You know it's going to be a computer-generated Thanos, that his movements are based on somebody's real-life movements. I get it's motion capture.
Sure.
You don't have to tell me that a 3D, CGI image is motion capture.
Well,
if it's a person,
not necessarily. There isn't always motion capture performed. Sometimes
it's like standard now, dude.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's an anthropomorphic thing, be it like an ogre.
Okay, so do you think then that the
raccoon?
reason that they're talking about it like it's a new thing because they wanted to jazz up the headline and make it seem like there's something more to this than just...
Yeah, I feel like, if it were just Guardians of the Galaxy will feature Thanos, well, no shit. They're in space. Space is Thanos' thing. If you don't know what we're talking about Thanos. At the end of the Avengers, which everyone saw, he shows up at the end. His ugly mug.
He's informed by his underling that it seems Earth is protected and that to pursue it would be courting death. To which Thanos turns around, shows his big purple ugly mug, and gives a big grin about it.
Yeah.
Because he's in love with death.
Yeah.
By the way,
literally in love with death. Death is a person.
Yeah. So it's a woman.
She's
And it would be right.
She's not like obviously like a person. It's like death, like old timey death, with the hood and the skull.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she is.
Right.
So he's got the hots for her.
So yeah, they confirmed what everybody already knew in saying that Thanos would be in it, and that it would somehow, I don't know. I feel like if the fan community can freely associate and come to the conclusion that about this already, then it's just, I don't know. It's just, again, it's not news.
Yeah.
I feel bad even talking about it.
Oh, James Gunn says film connects to Avengers 3. No shit.
Oh boy.
No fucking shit. When did a Marvel, since...
This is a terrible lightning round, by the way.
Yeah, this is awful. Since Iron Man,
mm-hmm.
When did any of the Marvel movies not connect to the other Marvel movies? At least just even the littlest bit.
Well, there's the shawarma scene.
That literally connected all of them. They were all connected by Marvel.
It's not...
It was dumb. It was dumb.
Variety reports Lionsgate is going to split the third Divergent book, Allegiant, into 2 films. Okay, so let me give you guys a quick recap because I'm barely aware of all these things, and so I assume then that many of you aren't as well. Divergent is the latest teen, dystopian future book where some teens are going to fight against a dystopic, overreaching government, and they're going to try to get freedom. It sounds suspiciously like the Hunger Games, but it's not the Hunger Games. It's a different thing, you guys. Totally a different thing. But it's a 3-book series.
It's the Hunger
Divergent, Insurgent. Yeah, it's the Hunger Games. Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant.
Allegiant. I was going to say Revenant, because that sounds way cooler. But, they're adults, so they don't know what school.
But, again, everybody knows... you gotta stretch out that dollar. If you're doing a trilogy, let's pretend it's not a trilogy. Make it rain. So, they're going to split and again...
Hold on, I want to make it rain now.
Insurgent isn't even out.
I literally have $2. Okay, here we go.
I don't know if you can make it rain with $2.
Oh, can't I?
Well, it was like a drizzle.
That was rain.
But, yeah.
I'm gonna keep that to the side in case I need to make it rain again.
Okay, you just do that. So Divergent's out. I've heard terrible things. And the sequel, Insurgent.
Revenant.
Shut up. Insurgent, of course, it's not even out. It's barely a twinkle in the studio's eye at this point, and they already know they're definitely, guys, they are definitely going to need 2 movies to tell the story of the 3rd book.
It's over! That's not a new segment, that's an old segment.
That's an old segment.
It's over. I'm pretty sure we already did it, but
it's got to be over again.
It's definitely over now. You can no longer split unless the last movie is from a book that's too fucking big.
If the last book in a series is demonstrably 1 2/3 worth of the previous book, then okay, fine. If it's 166% the length of the last book, then sure, I can see where you got to go with this one. But I can tell you, this one's not. I've seen the books on display at stores.
Yeah.
They're all the same. They're all about the same size.
You know, Harry Potter and the last fucking book ever. That was that was huge. You had to 2 movies.
It made sense.
Yeah,
it made sense.
But now every teen book series is taking the same path. I wouldn't be surprised if City of Bones, their last their last movie would be split into 2. I can see that absolutely.
So I mean,
hold on. Go to the chat. My dad says you didn't. I don't. We kept talking, so
we just kept on talking. So we don't know.
Sorry. JJ Watson 906 says, spoiler alert, there's going to be teens.
Yes, there will. Many of them.
All of the teens.
And there's
the Maze Runner, the Giver.
You know what?
It's the year of fucking teen movies,
guys,
apparently.
Man, just to sit for a second, by the way, nostalgia. Could you imagine, to be one of these fresh-faced youths going in to see these movies and man, I've never asked these tough questions about what it is to be free before. Wow.
Yeah, just
it's gonna be someone's someone who's never watched going watch fucking Blade Runner or fucking 1984 or anything, and someone is going to think that this is a really smart movie.
It's no, these things exist. There's just the circle of life. I imagine that's how it is. Mm-hmm. We learn the same shit over and over, but in a different way. Mm-hmm. So people are going to be like, oh, look at these dystopian futures. That could be us.
Man, watch The Running Man. Okay.
Big money, big prizes.
I love it. Okay, in further news...
wait, hold on. We still got to do the sequels.
Still doing sequels, okay.
Wait, no, the one before that. You skipped it. There it is. Sequels and reboots. That's what it was.
Masters of the Universe draws rewrite from Kick-Ass 2 director. So the director of Kick-Ass 2 is doing a rewrite of the supposed script for Masters of the Universe. Jake's kind of upset about this one, I think. I can tell you I'm not.
I'm not upset. I'm really... It kind of feeds into the whole, hey, look at this thing from your childhood.
It does, certainly.
Because we don't have... Okay, for instance, Michael Bay, obviously, making the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Mm-hmm. We had 2 animated movies from 2 different animations that were not the original late 80s, early 90s animated series.
Right.
We've already had that over the past 10 years. I think one of them was CGI, and I think maybe they've made another CGI movie? Or maybe they made a series off of the movie, which got turned into its... I can't keep track of it anymore. But my point being is that, the Michael Bay's movie doesn't tie into anything, so I kind of hate it for that. I mean, if you at least tied into the cartoon, which... all I know about the new cartoon is the action figures, and they look kind of badass.
Yeah, they look alright. Except for the feet, they have elephant feet, and I hate.
I don't know. I like that. I like Mega Man feet. I love Mega Man feet. Okay. Point being is that there's no Masters of the Universe cartoon, so this isn't gonna feed into any kids.
To be fair, there was a Masters of the Universe cartoon,
a reboot.
Yeah, a newer one. Here, what,
in the last
years ago? Within the last 10 years, sure.
Okay. And it wasn't very popular with the kids, so that it's not kids and adults. It's no, it's adults. This is made for adults. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we did get a Masters of the Universe movie before, and...
I'm not making it rain on this one.
But that one was highly questionable. As many of you know, you've probably seen it. It did a poor job of telling the story of the Masters of the Universe. For some reason, it's like, hey, let's bring He-Man to Earth and have him pal around with friends, and Orko's too hard to make in the 1980s cheap sci-fi movie budget, so let's have a dwarf to replace Orko. And
I don't know, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't terrible, but, I mean...
that was a cash grab, too.
A naked cash grab. Yeah. But, and this is too, all movies are naked cash grabs. Let's just, not all. Not all. Some, yes, of course there are, totally legit artists out there who have a story to tell and they want to, do art,
Mm-hmm.
But most movies are naked cash grabs.
I don't know. I'm not too excited about it. I'm sure it will be boring, bland, and in the same three colors.
Yep.
Same with the Time Cop reboot.
Time Cop
to talk about.
Yeah. Anyone remember Time Cop? That was a thing.
It was a movie, but I don't think. Wait, hold on.
I
need to know.
I defy you to remember, and anyone else, to remember anything about Time Cop other than Ron Silver melting. And the fact that they were cops in time.
We actually referenced that in the show at some point.
I know we did.
The Time Cop thing.
Time Cop rules.
No, box office. There we go. No, it's a movie that really said all it was gonna say. It's not a very good time travel movie.
No, it wasn't.
If you wanted to see two Jean-Claude Van Dammes, you could just see,
Double Team?
Double Team.
Or was that Double Impact?
Double Impact. Double Team is with...
D-Rod?
Yeah.
The D-Rod?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
He's a jerk. Time Cop. Let's see. How much was its budget? Can we find that out?
Yeah.
Can we look this up, Jake?
Well, that's what I want to know, because I don't think it made money.
Okay... We're looking. We're trying to find this information for you guys because we're super well prepared on this show. Usually
it has, we're on Box Office Mojo. If you haven't gone to boxofficemojo.com, then you're probably not a movie nerd, real hard that you want to look at numbers about movies.
Yeah.
It doesn't say... It just says it's... apparently its opening weekend, it was number one. It made $12 million its opening weekend. Its domestic total gross is $44 million, and foreign is $56. So I assume it's probably almost $100 million.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so it was a forgettable movie. Nobody can probably tell you very much about it. Ron Silver was interesting in that, except what's Ron Silver been in? Does anyone else remember what Ron Silver was in beyond that? Does anyone else know who Ron Silver is? This is...
Oh.
What?
I want to read that.
What?
No way! No fucking way! I'm sorry. You know what? We're just talking about stuff. The Time Cop movie I enjoy, but, some of it's pretty terrible.
Is this true?
This is... They get so... Actually, maybe you should go to this website, boxofficemojo.com. We're looking at, specifically... movies that were based off of Dark Horse Comics, which is, it's not DC, because DC's is Vertigo. Isn't it just its own...
Dark Horse is its own thing, yeah.
I always thought it was a darker Dark Horse, I thought it was a specific, but... Okay, anywho, let me jump back to let's see. Yeah, nice. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is a list that they've compiled of movies that were based off of Dark Horse Comics, and they're rank by gross, by domestic and foreign gross, and then also adjusted for They have another list that's adjusted for inflation. So these are the movies. Number 5 is Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. Actually, Hellboy's number 7. Sin City is number 6. Wow, Hellboy 2 made more than Sin City.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. Wow. Alien vs. Predator was number 4. 300 Rise of an Empire was number 3. Number 1 was just the first 300. which grossed over $200 million. But number 2, which means that it was number 1 until 300 came out, was Jim Carrey's The Mask.
The Mask. It was based on a Dark Horse comic. Poorly, I might add. But as we're looking at this, apparently Time Cop is a Dark Horse franchise.
Yeah, it was a comic book. I think it was like either a short-lived series or just a
miniseries. Yeah. I had no idea that
Time Cop was number 8.
Had anything with Dark Horse.
Also on the list are R.I.P.D., Mystery Men, and Barbed Wire.
Also Son of the Mask.
Yeah, that's it. Which grossed more than Barbed Wire.
You can say
you can make the judgment call on that one. I'm not even going down that road. Which one was better?
And I believe finally to wrap up our talk about totally bullshit sequels and reboots and remakes. Hey guys, I bet you were all wondering what Robin Williams and his family did after he was discovered as Mrs. Doubtfire and what happened afterwards.
I don't wonder that, because at the end of the movie he got a TV show where he dressed in drag.
Well, sure, but I mean, there was obviously a lot of story left to tell there. I mean, about this guy.
He got back with his family. It seemed like things were.
Well, I mean, what if like later on he has to become Mrs. Doubtfire again, and then there are other shenanigans?
But nobody's gonna fall for it again because he's nationally syndicated on like a kids' TV show where he plays Mrs. Doubtfire, so everyone would know.
Well, what if? In case you didn't know from what we were just doing, there's a Mrs. Doubtfire sequel.
Oh, yeah!
Fox 2000... That's nice. Fox 2000 has tapped elf scribe David Barenbaum to write a sequel to the 1993, so that's a 21-year-old film now, you guys. Feel old. Everyone feel old.
Mrs. Doubtfire is legally old enough to drink.
Let's see. Yeah, the comedy hit Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams attached to reprise his starring role and Christopher Columbus to return as the director and also the discoverer of the New World.
This was based on a book?
The original movie, which was based on the Anne Fine book, followed Williams' struggling actor and divorced father who disguised himself as the elderly nanny and housekeeper in order to see his kids while his ex-wife has custody.
Yeah,
you guys know.
We know.
Sally Field and Pierce Brosnan also starred. The pick went on to make more than $400 million worldwide, and Fox has tried to get a sequel into production ever since.
Really?
They've been trying for 20 years.
That's just sitting on their to-do board.
Oh, we gotta
do this.
We gotta.
This is the week.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
This is the week when we write the Mrs. Doubtfire sequel and we push it into production.
Elizabeth.
There is somebody at Fox. There are some buddies at Fox that were super excited about this.
Barenbaum's other credits include The Haunted Mansion and The Spiderwick Chronicles. Oof.
There's a teen tween book that didn't get off the ground.
Okay. Let's see what else is happening in the world of the internet. House of Haunted. Oh yeah. Okay, so many of you have probably heard, and it's kind of been going kind of around for a little while. I feel like over the last few years we've been seeing a lot of shakeups in the late night scene. First Conan kind of stepped forward, and everyone else got their promotion over at NBC because of that. Then he got screwed, and Jay Leno came back, and then he left.
It was like a big false start, but now it's like...
Now we got it.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, of course, recently took over for Jay Leno, again, the second time that he stepped down. Hopefully he'll feel comfortable actually retiring this time.
Yeah. So he can drive around on his motorcycle that goes 400 miles an hour.
Not to steal a line from Stewie from Family Guy.
Oh, no.
But it's sort of true. It's so easy to make fun of Jay Leno and people who do like these opening monologues and everything, but they have to have fresh material out there every night and jokes that are accessible enough that everybody's tuning in to get a chuckle. It's hard business. Jake, you and I sit here Wednesday after Wednesday trying to elicit chuckles, and we don't know whether anyone's laughing at these jokes.
Well, that's the thing. We're not writing this stuff.
Shh.
well,
all of this is written!
See, it's really interesting to me, and I would love to, if I ever had the time, to kind of go through and document and do some research on this and that. Oh, we gotta watch that before the end of the episode, by the way. I'm pointing at a tab for those of you who can't see our monitor, which is everyone except for us. I would love to go through and do research on like just ratings and things like that. I mean, we have folks. Let's be real.
It's time to get real.
I think on a very early episode, probably in the tens of J&TRE Review Everything Live, we talked about this. I could be entirely wrong. We could have just had a discussion about it off camera. I don't even. Whatever.
It all bleeds together. I don't know what we talk about.
So when books became digital, when somebody figured out, oh, you can just transfer like Word files, and we can put that into a reader, and so we don't have to pay publishing costs and stuff like that. Like the costs stayed the same. You're still paying $20 for a book that just came out. Same with movies. They used to be on VHS. There was a reason that it cost. It had a production cost, and the movie costs money and stuff like that, and the industry sets its own price points on a lot of the new stuff. Long story short, we're constantly evolving and doing new things with the internet and technology and things like that. Late night is it's like newspapers.
Kind of. It's an old format.
It's an old format because it used to be that a lot of families and a lot of people would watch late night shows, especially in the 80s. You can see the difference at the turn of the century from the 80s and 90s. That was a huge thing. They made a biopic on that. Nobody died. It was, what was it? It was the feud between Letterman, Conan, and...
Letterman and Leno, really.
Well, yeah, Letterman and Leno.
Kings of Late Night?
The Kings of Late Night. That was like a big movie to everyone because people were really enthralled about that. But now that they're getting to retirement age, I mean, we did have the false start with Conan and everything like that. It's news, but not really. Jimmy Fallon is perfect for late night because he understands the technology and the delivery. Most of the stuff that you've probably seen from his show is it's viral stuff. He specifically makes bits with famous people. He specifically makes short, moments so that you can ingest those much like you do any video on YouTube or the Vines or whatever. He does trending topics.
Right. Jimmy Fallon does a really good job.
Right, but he's not doing well with late night. Late night is doing well by having him because they are slowly becoming outmoded and irrelevant.
Right. Makes sense.
Some people don't want to stay up. We've had DVRs for years, and now we have, you can go directly to some websites. You can go to Hulu and watch Jimmy Fallon. You don't have to be there at night. It's not a, late night is more of just an old title.
Right.
That doesn't really apply to the show because you can watch it whenever.
Absolutely.
So, it's kind of a sign of the times that not a lot of people care about it all that much. Stephen Colbert is going to be replacing David Letterman. Apparently he's not doing his old character. That was one of the big things.
Right. It's going to happen here in 2015. At some currently undesignated time, Stephen Colbert is going to replace David Letterman on The Late Show. And more importantly, as Jacob just kind of pointed out, Stephen Colbert is not going to be playing Stephen Colbert. I'm going to go ahead and pretend anybody who's still watching this is an idiot and say, did you know that Stephen Colbert on the Stephen Colbert Colbert Report that's not him? That's a character version of himself. He's not actually a ridiculous conservative blowhard that does this for the purposes of satire. That's not really a thing. And the thing is that's the character and the personality that everyone who has connected with Stephen Colbert has connected with. So when he comes over to this new thing, he's just going to be himself. And obviously he's very affable, he's very competent in terms of being a show host and everything, but it's going to be a different sort of thing than what we've been used to. So it's going to be interesting to see what Stephen Colbert does with this opportunity.
Absolutely.
To sort of reinvent himself in the public eye again.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's not doing a character, he's still going to have to adjust to from doing an hour or a half an hour long show to an hour long show.
Hour and a half, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
11:30 to 1 usually.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of material.
It's a lot of show. 4 times a week, a lot of show. Anyway.
So we'll go through these other things. This is a special treat for the end of the show. We'll hit up our last points here. If you guys want to go to YouTube, I'll give you a second.
Go open up another tab in YouTube, and you're going to search on YouTube for Guardian of the Highlands.
Guardian of the Highlands, like Highlander.
Right, but not Highlander. Guardian of the Highlands. Now, here's the thing. I've heard about this program before, this movie. And the thing is that I remember hearing about it, like, months and months ago as something that had been finished, but they were trying to figure out how to market it because it was probably really bad. I believe it back then... I haven't
seen anything.
Back then it was referred to as Billy... Guardian of the Highlands, and now I guess they dropped the Billy thing. But this thing, you're doing it, right?
Yeah,
you guys are doing the thing. Bring up the trailer.
It's the first one. It says official.
Yeah.
If you type in Guardian of the Highlands in the YouTube bar, it will pull up the first one that pulls up says Guardian of the Highlands trailer.
Mm-hmm. So that's the one you want. Okay, and you're gonna want to get ready.
Get ready
because
we're gonna watch it. It's the first time I've ever seen anything besides the cover of the DVD, and I have a feeling that it's probably going to be better animated, but very similar to Food Fight, where you have a lot of famous people.
Well, this has
because Judi Dench is
it has Sir Sean Connery,
Sir Sean Connery, and Dame Judi Dench,
as well as Alan Cumming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that much about this movie. That's why I wanted to see this trailer.
Okay. We've waited enough. You're going to click on there, and you're going to hit play now. From Glasgow Animation. It's actually animated in Scotland.
Billy Productions, so apparently.
Northwest coast of Scotland.
Northwest coast of Scotland?
In the deepest, darkest highlands.
This is like discount narrator.
Where evil lurks.
Illegal animals. What? Illegal animal dump?
And tragedy unfolds. There lies a secret.
This looks really dark for an animated movie. I know it's not really this dark. This is a joke.
Alright.
They're setting you up for a false impression.
Obviously.
They need only one man.
Sir Sean Connery.
Oh, he's riding a skateboard! Oh my god, he just did a backside fucking 180.
A grandfather.
Sean Connery is
Billy.
Let me hear him talk.
William. Billy to my friends.
Oh, he sounds sad.
Old and sad.
Odds and the villainous policemen are against them.
A villainous Bobby to go against his Billy.
First.
Oh my god, there's gonna be a Red October joke, isn't there?
Can this octogen man and his
Make an animated
And his goat.
with Alan Cumming as Gordon the Goat.
Oh no!
Yes. He has animal friends, Jake.
And keep you at the edge of your seat. Sir Sean Connery.
It was a little racy there.
Sir Billy. With a kind of grandma.
Oh, so Billy is also knighted. Sir Billy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that animation though.
This fills me with sadness, you guys.
Ouch.
Sir Sean Connery, they talk him up how he's in this, and I wonder what the circumstances of this are that caused this to happen. I just don't know, you guys. I just don't know. But let's see. If you guys actually watched that with us, you know.
Yeah. Congratulations for sticking it out for that one. We got like 2 minutes left. I think. Here, sit down. We're gonna sit.
Coffee.
We're
that coffee though.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got like 5 minutes left. We'll stick around for a little bit for the after show. But let's stop the recording now. I think Billy's kind of the...
That killed it for me.
That's pretty much it for this episode of Jake and Trevor Review Everything Live. If you're watching this recorded, know that we do it live, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday, for an hour. From 10 p.m., 10:05 p.m. to 11:05 p.m.
Correct.
And we oftentimes stick around after the show, and you can see us then and all sorts of bonus shit.
So, join us then, as you do, and otherwise, have yourselves a good night. Thanks for watching.